Hello, everybody. Welcome to our class, Introduction to Business Analytics using Excel, Lesson 4. My name is Boris Furman. Today we will be building a dashboard. Objectives of our class today, we're going to be using Power Query to get the data. We're going to be working with AdventureWorks database. We're going to build pivot tables, and we're going to build a dashboard. After you unzip your file, your data, you will see three files. You'll see after files, before files, AdventureWorks logo, and directory with AdventureWorks data. Open your before file. Go to Data, Queries and Connections. Open the first query, product. Click on Manage Parameters and put your local directory into local path parameter. This would allow you to use Power Query. This is a dashboard we will be building today. We will have a dashboard for AdventureWorks database, which is a bicycle shop. They sell in different regions. And on top you see filters, slicers of the different regions: Australia, Canada, France, Germany, regions of the United States. You also have categories of products, accessories, bikes, clothing, components. You see the total sales and profit based on selection of the filters. So if we will say, let's say, Northwest and Southeast, you see that sales and profits have changed, are changing based on our selection. You have outline of your of date, basically of years. You can select the year, where filter by year. You can look at year 2023. Sales were $7 million, profit was $104,000. You can see different graphs: sales by employee, sales profit per quarter, top 10 product counts. So for example, if we change to bikes, you will see that top 10 products are reflected based on selection of our categories. You will see sales by region, top 10 products by profit in that category. So it's a fully automated dashboard. This is a goal. To build this dashboard is the goal of our class today. Please open the before file, and I've created a mock-up of our future dashboard where I try to decide where we're going to put our components. And now we're going to explore data a little bit. So AdventureWorks database sells bicycles. And here we have the table of sales. So you can see product key, reseller key, employee key, order number, quantity, price. The data was imported using Power Query. You can open Power Query and look. So the first step to build our dashboard, we're going to go ahead and add the logo. We are not going to play with Power Query insert in this class, but you're free to investigate. Pictures. You will see that I've added new pictures over cell columns: profit and profit margin. So you can investigate the Power Query. So we have sales. Select your directory. We have saved the files and pick regions, the AdventureWorks different regions where they do business. So they sell different type of products. We're gonna make it smaller. They have salespeople that sell those products. Let's try to fit it on the source data square. Is a Power Query where we merge all the sales and we add all the data. We merge data from all these different tables into one. And this is the data that we will be working to build our pivot tables. So please review the Power Query setup and understand how it was built based on the previous lesson. Next, we're going to fill our sales and profit boxes. For that, we need to know total sales and total profit based on our selection. So let's go ahead and build our first pivot table. I'm going to put our pivot tables right here in Pivot Tables tab, worksheet. So let's go to our source data, do Alt-N-V-T, create our first pivot table. We're going to use it, put it in the existing worksheet. Go to Pivot Tables, and let's put it right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select sales, put it in the values. It will give us total sum of sales. And then we're going to do the same thing with profit. Sum of profit. Now we're going to format, number format, pick currency, number format, pick currency, make it larger. So now we can go to our pivot table and let's call it so we will know pivot table totals. Press enter. Next, let's add slicers. So we're going to select the slicer. One is for region. And another one is going to be for product category. You can see now that if we change the slicers, the values in our the values of our sales and profits will change as expected. Next, let's add a timeline. Pick order date and select only years. Make it smaller. Put it here for now. Let's move our slicers and timeline to our dashboard. So we're going to copy region slicer. Actually, we're going to cut Control X and put it here on our dashboard. So we're going to go to slicer configuration and put 4 columns. And we can resize it. Make it smaller. Okay. Next, we'll go take a category, cut, paste it. Goes to slicer configuration. Let's make it 2 columns. Okay. Next, we'll copy the timeline. Put it on top. Let's make it a little bit more pretty. We'll go to slicer settings and remove display header for all slicers and timelines. Let's remove header. Now let's bring the values of the sales. What we're going to do first, we're going to insert shape. Let's insert this rectangle. We're going to put it on top of this place we had in our mockup. And let's right away make a copy of it. We can first delete what was in the mockup, clean up the border and remove. We'll put one shape. We'll do the same thing with this. Clean the border. And we're going to put it here. Then we can select these 2 shapes, go to shape format, and align in the middle to make them align next to each other. Next, we're going to show profit and profit and sales inside these boxes. So let's name the cell, give it a name. So I'll call it total profit. Sorry, I'll call it total sales. And this column, I'll call it total profit. Now we can go to mockup. Select the shape. Put the formula total sales. Click enter. And we see the value of here in total sales. Then we're going to do the same thing with this tab. I'll say equal to total profit. Can change formatting a little bit, alignment. get it to the get it to the bottom. Same thing here, bottom center. And we can increase the font, let's say 20. Let's put text into this box. So we have insert, shapes, text. Gonna put it right here. Total sales. Shape format. Shape outline, say no outline for shape. Shape fill, no fill for shape. We can increase the font and make a color white. I guess it's okay. Let's see what we have so far. We can change our slicers and we can see the values being reflected. The values being reflected in total sales and total profit. Next, we need to fill this chart, which is sales by employee. Let's build a pivot table. Build a pivot table. Go to source data. Alt-N-V-T. Put existing chart. Go pivot table. Let's put it right here. Okay. Then we're going to pick salesperson is our rows. We're going to put order date as our columns. We're only going to pick years. Okay. Next, we're going to add the sales as sum of values. We're going to sort it largest to smallest, and we're going to format it for number format to currency. Let's make it larger. And we have our first pivot table. Let's name this pivot table sales by salesperson. We'll go to pivot table and give it a name sales by salesperson. Next, let's create a chart for it. We just select this pivot table, go to insert, recommended charts, and let's pick this histogram. Which will give us years, salespeople, and their sales. Click OK. Control X to cut it and paste it right here. We can for now remove borders. Instead, let's put a chart. Let's right click on hide all buttons on the chart. Click on yes and say okay, remove grid lines. Legend and legend. Let's put legends on the bottom. So now we have our first chart. Let's see if this chart would react on any of our slicers. And it doesn't seem to react. So what we need to do, we need to go to the pivot table and click on filter connections. We need to connect the slicers to our pivot table. Let's pick all slicers and say okay. And now we'll see that as we change the selection, our chart gets updated. Now I've built the pivot table of sales per quarter and did the same thing, put another chart for sales per quarter. Again, we'll make it a little bit nicer. Hide all buttons from the chart. Remove grid lines and put legend on the bottom. And then I will build other 4 pivot tables and put charts for them. But before we do move to the next pivot table, again, we need to make sure that our slicers animate this chart. So we go back to the pivot table, filter connection, and connect it to the slicers. So now when we go back to our mockup, as we change, all our charts react. We continue this process and we build the rest of the charts. And now we have our slicers working with all the charts. And we can make some conclusion. For example, we can tell that sales of bicycles in all the markets is not profitable. The company is not making money on bicycles. But what about accessories? Accessories are profitable, clothing is profitable, components are very profitable. So we can tell that, and in each of the categories we can see what is the most profitable items, how much items we sell, how much profits we make on each item. We can see how our regions perform. We can see that sales in Southwest are highest sales is in Southwest. We can see by subcategories. For example, in bicycles, we can tell that how much we sell mountain bikes, road bikes, and touring bikes. So we converted our data into information, and we went through all steps of the data analysis. We had our CSV files in the input. Then we used Power Query to transfer data, create the source data. From there, we analyzed it using the pivot tables. And from the pivot tables, we built a dashboard. So in our class, we covered all the stages other than predictions. We didn't do any prediction.